Hi, hi, hi. Welcome to Facebook. Welcome, YouTube. Thank you for joining us. My name is Lina Nyamoya. Welcome to my broadcast. Tonight, I am excited. I thank God for life. I thank God for this opportunity. And if you're joining us on a Sunday evening, karibu, welcome, karibu sana. I am excited to host a bunch of guys, a whole team. Lots of directors from all the way down South Texas. I don't know if Texas is South. Oh, thank you. People are already joining. I love this. So we did tell you we'll come live at 8 and we are here. I am excited and honored to interview MINTO, MINTO, which means my house or our house in Kisii. But it's a foundation founded by my one best friend, Miss Rispa, and a whole team, an army, like she called it the last time I interviewed her on the show. So she's brought a whole bunch of people here. I'm gonna let you meet her team. I'm gonna let you meet her directors. But for now, for those who've been screaming about Steve Harvey, make sure you check your sources. Make sure you check your sources. Fake news travels fast. But let's hope to travel this positive news just as fast. Hi, Maridadi Mobariri, a girl from Texas. I have your people in the studio. And on that note, comment and tell us where you're watching from, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or what state or what country. And we are honored to have you. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Miss Madam President and her team, a lot of us. Welcome to this Sunday evening studio live with Lina Nyamoya. And so I'm going to start by introducing everyone and saying welcome, of course. But Miss Rispa, can you say hello? And then before I tell you to introduce yourself, just say hi. Say hi to my audience.
Hello, 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 Minto. Hello, friends of Minto. Very happy to be here and just loving the opportunity. So thank you, Lina, for having us.
Yes, and for those who are watching, please share away because we're just going to get started into stuff. Miss Maridadi, I see you. Dr. Sam Guaya, you're in the house. Everybody, I'm not going to name you because I got all these guys ready to give us good nuggets as we prepare to launch a big conference next weekend. I can't wait to hear what they have for us. But on that note, Wiki, you want to say hello and then I'll come back to you?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. Asante sana for being here. Karibu.
Thank you, Wiki. And then, of course, Arasa, my fellow Nyaribarian. What's up?
Yes, ma'am. Hello. Waited it. How are you?
I like that. And of course, my brother-in-law, Mr. Silas Momanyi in the house. Say hello to the people.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Of course. So we're just going to get straight to our first question. And for those who are watching us, and as quickly as you imagine, I think this kind of went out really quickly. We have almost over 20 people already watching. So let's make sure we honor their time and respect their, give them a little bit of value of why we are here. So I think most of you, actually all of you, we've met live, we've met in person, we've been friends for a while. Hi, Brother H. We've been friends for a while, but I always say that when God gives someone a vision, it's not a conference call. It is something that only God puts in their heart, and it's up to them to take it or leave it. And Miss Rispa took a chance, and we are here tonight because of her. So Miss Rispa, can you tell us, just introduce yourself, who you are, just 1 minute, and then tell us what's Minto and what's going on.
Thank you again, Miss Lina. My name is Rispa Abraham, living in Dallas, Texas. Currently, I am the president and founder of MINTO, an organization that I and my peers, who everybody will be meeting here shortly, are very, very, very proud of. It's an organization, as I shared the last time, it's a vehicle for positive change. We are going to inspire, empower, and mentor ourselves and our communities and communities beyond to create positive change within our communities and beyond. So very excited about the venture, very excited about what the team is doing, and more than that, happy and excited about what the community of Umugusi is doing and about to do.
I love it. Thank you for that brief introduction. Rispa was here the last time. She's the founder and the president of the organization that is about to launch. But as I move forward, it's funny that I pinned Wiki's comment right on Facebook, and thank you for all those sharing. And as the crowd gets bigger, Wiki, just tell us who's Wiki, and really just use your names, because I call you in your pen name, I should call. But then let us who you are, where you are, and what's this about.
Great. Thank you so much, Lena, for having us. We appreciate your time. My name is Wycliffe Nyachayombui from Kisii South. To be more conservative, it's Wanchari. Abantu bandi bakyabo kendu. I'm a teacher by profession, having taught for a good while back in Kenya, about 3 schools. Then I also taught here for a little bit, and I'm in business. That's what I'm currently doing. I'm the director education pillar at the MINTO. Very passionate about education. Like I've said, I'm a teacher, so that is very dear to my heart. And we already have some initiatives going on under the MINTO umbrella, trying to look back, reach back, and try to be a shoulder for others. As we all know, most of us did get someone to lean on to be where we are. So very excited about this, more especially about the conference that is coming up. And I can't wait to see what we can do, we as Minto, especially out here in the diaspora, we can do together. Thank you
Awesome.
so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that brief introduction. Sir, you're a teacher. We used to call them madam and sir back home. So I have to give you your kudos. But another fellow sir of yours, Jonah, is giving you a shout out and saying, Hongera, he always writes in Kiswahili Sanifu. I have to get a kamusi to translate whatever he's saying. But my brother Jonah, hope to see you next weekend. I hope all of you that are commenting, you've bought your tickets. I see someone from Burleson, Texas. Arasa, tell us what's up, who you are, and of course, welcome these people from Burleson, Texas. I'm probably saying it wrong.
Yes, Lena. It's Burleson, Texas, a few miles outside of where I live, which is Grand Prairie, Texas. But thank you very much for having us. My name is Arasa Mose. I'm a village guy, boy born in Nyamemiso, as Bundus as it can sound. Went to local primary schools at Kegati. Went to high school in Kegati, and my background is in education, is in finance, and it's in cybersecurity. But one thing I need to highlight most is that if I had never left Kegati, I'll probably be a teacher at Kegati Primary or Kegati Secondary. That's my cycle and that's my network, because I'm so deeply rooted within our community that everything about me centers around my community, and that is my passion, and that's why I'm here in Minto. Because what I'm looking for is a way to create strong relationships, create connections, engage within our community, and at the same time make sure that we have a future, not only for myself, but also for our children. Within the Minto, I'm a board member, one of the very, very first ones with RISPA. But then I also had the docket of communication, public relations, and strategy, and more of those you will hear coming. Lina, thank you very much for having me.
That's awesome. Thank you, Mr. Communications Director, for that brief introduction. And by the way, we didn't know each other with Arasa back home, but we grew within miles of each other. That I always tease RISPA that we went from bare feet to heels, and we can celebrate the growth that God has put us through. I was teasing about the uniforms we used to wear with a square neck and a line to show that they are blue. Anyway, God is good. So, Silas, your turn. Introduce yourself. Tell us where you're watching from and the excitement you have about Minto. Silas is muted. Let me unmute you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Mimi ndio Silas Mukisi, part of Minto.
Yes.
Ovomo. Jenomo gitutu. We enda yencho wabantaba ngaini.
I like that. I love it.
This is one of the things I'm so excited to be part of. I've been part of so many kissy things in the US, but I feel like this one has a foundation, and I can see it grow, especially when you have a lady president. You know, when men are presidents, they have this ego, and I think that's what has been breaking most of the things. And I'm looking forward for the launch. I hope to see everybody there. Asante.
Awesome.
I'm
Thank
from
you so
Texas,
much.
by the way.
Yes, that's my brother-in-law from Texas. So thank you, Silas, for your brief introduction. I didn't know about Getutu na Bangaini. I'm married with Getutu, so I will be bragging on that one.
Oh, yes.
And on that note, we will jump right into asking questions. But before we do, maybe we should welcome Makini to the call. Makini, you joined us late. We had already said salutations, but since you just joined us, you want to just tell us, introduce yourself, welcome to the show, and then tell us a little bit about who you are and why Minto and your excitement.
Thank you so much. My name is Makini Karani. I come from Yerbad Masava, Kitao area.
I like that.
I originally trained as a lawyer in Kenya, then I turned up to nursing now. I'm a person always who is in the background. I don't like to be where I am right now. But because of Minto, I feel like I have to sacrifice all that to be part and parcel of this great, great dream. It's a dream which I know one day we will sit and look back and say, thank God we started this dream. I believe in Minto, I believe in Omogusi, and I believe that we will bring and transform changes to the Omogusi nation.
I love that. Thank you so much. And it's nice that most of you, I guess, would attest that this is your first live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. But I always say that conversation is the easiest way to be live because you don't feel like you're live. But thank you, and I'm honored to host all of you directors or the team for Mwanyagetinge. I should say Minto. And as I heard all 5 of you mention, I think Rispaga kicked out, but she'll join. All of us grew up in the village. We have grown. Now it's our turn or our time to take care of the village. That's what I'm hearing from your vision of Minto, to inspire, to mentor, to support, to community. Which brings me to the next question, and I know I'm going to start with Mwalimu Wiki. And Nyandusi, I see you. Nyandusi, I was going to call you out to be at the event in Texas, but you're forgiven. Welcome to the show. Welcome everybody who's joining us. So Wiki, the question for you is, you mentioned you are in education as the director for education for Minto. So Minto has this big launch. It's a foundation, a nonprofit, but they have a big conference in Dallas, Texas on September 1st and 2nd in Dallas, Texas. And Wiki, you can explain more on exactly where for the people who want to know as you jump into explaining what are you in charge of as the education department, but more importantly, what is that you've done in the village? Because we were talking about village support. What did you recently do back home? You're muted. You're muted, Wiki.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so the conference is going to be next week on Friday and Saturday. We have a whole program lined up. You guys can jump onto our website. That is www.themintofoundation.org, and also our socials, Minto and the Minto Conference overview. You're able to see all this information out there. So very excited about that. Like I said, I'm the co-chair and the director of education pillar, Minto. Minto has various segments or pillars that we are really focused on, areas where we see we have need, and we need to contribute more if we want to see positive change in our communities. And education is one of them. We have healthcare, we have economic empowerment, and some other issues, but those are the key ones. So my focus in the organization is on education. And I just came back. Actually, I landed today and I said, forget the jet lag. I have to be on this live and also contribute. So we, from the very beginning of it, we had to take a few students. This was a vision from back in 2019. Then COVID hit. We had to take a pause. But when the foundation got back up late last year, RISPA and team said we have just by all means keep this wheel standing from the get-go. So took up our 10 students that we are currently sponsoring in a secondary school called Amasege Secondary School in Nyarivari, I believe that is
Masaba.
Masava. Yeah, and visited with the school. The students are doing well. Few challenges here and there, but they're doing way better with the kind of collaboration and support we do have. Had good discussions, started a few clubs that are able to put them in line, but that is the very scratch on the surface because we're just starting. We are hoping to take another 20 or more, 10 or more come next year, ready to earmark another cohort, especially from Nyamira side. We're trying to have a balance of Omogusi. Also did a visit to some orphans in Marani side. I was also in collaboration with the Office of the Women Rep. We did a visit to South Mugirango, where
Wow.
they had an FGM, anti-FGM campaign. So it's a whole host of things that we are trying to do. And the very last one we did, I was with Arasa, is a visit, a safe house that is run by Esna Sonsembe in Nyanchwa.
Wow.
Did some food drive and visit with the kids, trying to see how they're doing and how we can be able to collaborate and help we as Minto. So basically, the issues are many. Might touch others that do fall into other pillars, but in education, basically, we're in line to identify when the need is, and most of us are actually aware of where the need is. Then be able to master up resources that can be able to help, and from there roll out ways of not only sponsoring a few kids here and there, but provide resources that are able to build Umogusi at large from the very beginning. So I'm talking about areas like career counseling, mentorship. We are talking about things like mental health issues amongst our kids growing up. Self-esteem is a big issue. I struggled with that. If I start giving my story to be a whole lengthy story, I came to
Invite everybody to the conference because Wiki is a panelist. He's going to share his story at the conference. So for those who are willing and waiting to hear whatever that story is, I can't wait for one. And I'll be moderating that conference. So I'll make sure I hear that story.
Yeah, most definitely. So we as Minto in the diaspora, being out here, having different experiences, having learned a few different things that can be helpful and resourceful to our people back at home. That's why we're coming together, especially from the education side, and see how can we put together resources. I'm talking about mentors. I'm talking about sponsors who want to lift other kids up. We have mental health care experts. How can we put those people together and move back home and provide resources to Omogusi at large and be able to build an all-rounded group of citizens to come from the Gusi nation? I think most of us can attest. You've been back at home. You've seen our kids struggle. You find a Form 4 leaver with a good grade, a BA student, but they cannot communicate. Their self-esteem is low. They don't know what they're going to do in college. So issues like those. And that's why we're here. We're saying we are Somogusi. You've seen how kids here are very well trained from very early. They have all these resources. They're ready. A kid knows what they want to be as early as 8th grade, 9th, 10th. And those are the kind of things we want to copy from here and also emulate back at home and make sure that we as a people are moving the right trajectory. We are trying to deliver proper advice to our kids. We're able to guide them in proper careers that are going to earn them a better living in days to come. As much as we can't change the curriculum per se, but there are things we can do we as a people in the various things that are mentioned to not only sponsor kids financially, but provide resources that are going to uplift them and make them all-rounded moving forward.
Thank you, Vicky. That's awesome. I just want to make sure that I heard everything you said, just to make sure everybody gives a little bit of their background and what they're doing and the work that Minto is doing. It's exciting to hear that you're already supporting high schools. Amasege. Amasege is by Keroka, for those who may not know the Kisii region well, but it's in Yaribari Masaba, where Makini comes from. It is also where I was actually born, but I'm married in Bogetutu. So then I think also I would like to say, all the people watching us, I am honored, and your time is truly a gift to us. Mumbi Baskin, we will be doing the conference in English according to Madam President. If they speak in Kisii and they don't translate, I'll volunteer to translate for you. Come on, I'll see you next week. Nyandusi, we will miss you, but we'll see you next year. Pray for us. Actually, send a sponsorship to RISPA. Nyandusi Achai, I see you. Minto, I see Auntie Gladys, you said there is no audio? Is the audio a problem for the audience? Please let us know you can hear us clearly. Anybody who's listening can tell us if our audio is okay. Anyway, thank you, Judge Makwasi, I see you. Okay, so moving on to Arasa, so in honor, oh, thank you. Somebody says loud and clear. Thank you, Tina. And I hope to see you. Where are you watching from? Are you in Dallas? Maybe we'll see you at the conference and take a picture. Let's move to Arasa, the communications director. And I think you kind of encompass everything, although maybe I should skip you and talk to Heb for a minute, because you kind of are the overall, like you're the mother of the home, because of you have to make sure you communicate every initiative. Let's jump to my brother Heb. Today I'm really gonna be Kambanane queen in this house. So let me just go back to let me honor my brother Heb Mosomi, who just joined us. Heb, you missed a part that our colleagues spoke about. So you're one of the directors. Just tell us who you are and what department or what initiative you're leading. And then you can just give us a highlight of just that and invite people to the conference.
Okay, Lina, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much for this opportunity. I've actually been in the show since the beginning, but I was backstage trying to get my tech side of things going. But I'm really excited to be here today. First of all, let me say thank you to you, Lina, for the work that you're doing in the community, for bringing us here together. And just you and RISPA, Arasa, and everybody else for the work that you're doing to bring the community together. I think for those of us who come from Kenya, we were told that umoja ni nguvu, na utengano ni udhaifu. So the fact that we are actually actualizing that and coming together, for me, touches me, because I have been in the United States for the last 25 years. I'm even embarrassed to say. Maybe it's time for me to go home. But before we go there, there has never been anything of this nature. There are many great organizations in our community. And the great thing about Minto is coming to complement all these other organizations so that we can actually come together, focus together, and do great things together. I think when people come together with a common agenda, they can achieve a lot as opposed to us doing what we do individually. All of you are successful individually. And we want to commend you for that and acknowledge and bring you so that we can even celebrate the work that you're doing in the community. I think it's Henry Ford who said that coming together is the beginning, staying together is progress, and being able to work together is success. So we're really speaking for our community to come together. My father is an old man now. He's been a leader in the community, and he likes to say that knowledge has no monopoly. Whenever he says that, it basically means that none of us can claim a monopoly on knowledge. Lina, there's something you know that I don't know. RISPA, there's something you know that I don't know. Arasa, there's something that you know I don't know. McKinney and Wycliffe, the same. So when we come together, we're able to bring all these pieces together, and then we can succeed. But I'm happy to be here. I'm the economic chair. I'm honored to serve in that capacity. And we know that our people cannot progress unless they are economically empowered. So we also will be looking at what we can do to empower ourselves and the community as a whole. But thank you, Lina. I'm excited to be here tonight.
Awesome. So that is the guy in charge of the economic sector for Minto. So we are excited to hear what you have, especially at the conference. I'm looking forward to know what investment opportunities are, not only back home, but right here where you've been for 25 years. I beat you by 1 year. This August was 26 years for me. So I think we just want to know. And I think I'm going to challenge my brother Wiki in the next question about what about the children here. So before we go there, I'm going to jump and ask our healthcare director, Makini, just to say a little bit about what his thoughts are in the healthcare. But Makini, I don't want you to go too far because you're a lawyer. So I want to make sure that I remember that you're a nurse, but there's a lawyer behind the nurse. So you summarize, especially the hospital project that is very close, dear, and I should say near and dear to my heart as an RN of 25 years, really. I mean, I think that's important to mention.
Thank you, Lynn, so much. In healthcare, that's the place where I feel so happy because we have so many educated Umogusi here in the diaspora. We have so many professionals in different areas. We know that if we tap to them, they can be used and change and transform the healthcare in our motherland, Kisii and Kenya's own. We have been thinking about this. I know most of us, we have been talking about how excellent healthcare we see in this country. Mm-hmm. We always want to have it in our country, but it has never happened. Mm-hmm. With the frustrations, with all those obstacles, as Minto, we felt that we will not continue to whine forever. We will be part of the solutions. And that's why we felt like, what shall we do to change what's happening in our country? What's happening in the two counties, Nyamira and Kisii? We will not sit, talk about it. When we receive the leaders from there, we lecture them, we tell them what they can do, and they don't do it. We end up being frustrated. So as Minto has come with a project, we will come with so many projects, but for now, we have to have a pioneer project, the Equitable Health Facility. That's the place where we have a dream. And the dream is we want to transform how mother child care is provided. Why did we do mother child care, not other? It's because that's where life begins. If we get right where life begins, then other things will be easy for us to continue. But if we don't, then we will struggle. It's painful when you see how our mothers, our sisters, our aunties, sometimes even our grandies, you know, you have a granny who is younger, who is going to give a. When I say our granny, I don't mean those you.
That's okay. Age is but a number. Janet
right.
Jackson just had a baby at 51, so hey.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So we don't want to continue seeing them suffer when they go to get the babies. We have seen this happening all the time. We see them in the being on the social media. We give a few dollars here and there, but we cannot be able to solve. We need to start doing it ourselves. So when we started the Equitable project, why do we choose Equitable? Sometimes we might be asked that why were we biased because Equitable belongs to.
Actually, I'm gonna let that be answered at the conference, if you can forgive me. But I love the fact that you have a project, not only just thinking initiatives like I cut my brother Wiki, but the fact that you've actually not only thought through a vision, but applied it and taken off. So for the people watching us, just know that the train already left the station. You're invited to join the conference next week. It's going to be a 2-day conference, Friday and Saturday. All these things that Wiki wants to tell you about the Amasege Scholarship, how can you sponsor mentors, how can you support mental health, how can you support those shelter houses and safe houses for girls and even young youth who may need them. Come to the conference and be part of the solution. Number two, the same thing about the healthcare. Makini will be at the conference, and I'm sure he's looking for partners and collaborators. Americans, when we did college, they used to talk about brain drain that people run to here because we are all economic refugees, if we are honest. But I am a believer that this is our time to go back and give brain gain, which brings me then to Arasa, or maybe Rispa. But Arasa, I would ask you this question. As the communications director, why unity of purpose? And what have you been noticing in the few weeks, few months that you've been collaborating and pulling resources together and blogging and calling us and texting and doing all this work? What have you noticed and what are you excited about? And what do you offer to this 2-day conference that I just tagged up there? And by the way, there's a Cash App number for those who want tickets.
Thank you, Lynn. I think what I've seen is an insatiable appetite for this conference.
I like that.
And really, there couldn't have been a better time than now. There's been a lot of chatter, there's a lot of talk, and everybody everywhere is like, yes, finally, the time for Minto is here. You know, there's no lying that as a community, as Omogusi, we are very successful. We have done well for ourselves. We continue to do well, and everybody at their very personal level, they have achieved a certain level of success. But what this is all about is collaboration, unity of purpose. Like overwhelming to now, what Lynn has achieved, what White has achieved, what I have achieved. When we all collectively come together, bring that in one pot, what we can be able to do is far greater than what one person can achieve. Let me tell you one thing. We are in a global economy, right? The other day, somebody called me and they're like, "Oh, this conference is it sounds like it's an for the elitist." Maybe they thought it was a ding, but I was like, "Yeah, finally somebody has recognized that Opogusi is elite, right? That we can come together at a very global level in a very rapidly changing world and interconnected world and strive to achieve meaningful progress while trying to address not only global challenges but those global challenges how they affect Omogusi. And this will not happen if we don't have collective effort of individuals, communities, organizations, and remember, even our nation to come together because Omogusi is everywhere. Go to Transoya in Kitale. Go to Nakuru where Silas lives. Come to Texas. Go to Minnesota. Go to the UK, right? But then the conference seeks to harness all these collective progresses that Omukusi and strides they have made and bring them together, right? We aim to explore the significance, unity, and the potential that we have to drive a positive change, right? And this is in all spheres of what you've mentioned in healthcare, in education, in
Economic.
professional connect, economic empowerment, all put together in one conference. Because what is the goal? Together we can work towards a future where unity paves the purpose to create a more equitable, sustainable, and harmonious community. The time, Lena, is now, and we can never wait for any other time. That's why this coming weekend, first and second, is very, very important as we set out communication for my docket to make sure that we are all aligned with the same vision and mission. The mission is here is not to benefit just me. I'm about to go to retirement. I'm retiring in Kisi, but I want to make sure the Kisi that I retire to has the best schools, has the best education, has the best security, and everybody strives to achieve for the common good of the community that where we will retire to, and where my kids who are growing, they have a voice, they are being heard, and they can positively contribute. Lena.
I love that. Thank you for that summary. And now I'm going to put Madam President to task because I've been itching with this question. So when I did the flyer, when I got the flyer done a day or so ago, I noticed that it's a lot of kissy men on the flyer that are on your team. Now, as a woman and a very outspoken woman, that bothered me, number one, because I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Out of all the directors of Minto, she couldn't find one lady, although I said no, to be on that panel. And then number two, we are raising girls. So on a serious note, number one, I need to know how the gender is contributing to the Minto initiatives. Number two, we are raising girls in our houses, and we want to know, I know that Wiki talked about anti-FGM campaigns and safe houses back home, but what is it that women can get from the conference? Because I know there is specifically a women panel lined up for them, but what is it that you have for women, and why are you discriminating against us anyway?
Oh, wow. Okay. So, first of all, Minto, as an organization, we are definitely not discriminating. What you see here today, as you know, we live in a very first world, and who is here today was based on availability because people are trying to manage their schedules effectively, and some have to make a trade here and a trade there so that they can be able to be at the conference next week. With that said, our team does have amazing and incredible women who are working alongside our incredible men. I will start with Gladys Mwango Griffin, who is the co-chair education, working alongside Wycliffe, putting in...
That's my aunt. She ran to your rescue. She's already...
working with the team. Emily Mogeni, who is currently actually in Kenya, she had to go home for her father-in-law's funeral. But even through all that,
she's right here with you. She's right here with you.
And today she had a visit to Ekerubo with the sitting MCA and did some public participation with some of the local people. So even in the midst of sadness, Minto is still on the ground.
Awesome.
We have others who are working behind the scenes and working very hard to make our conference come together. Sheila Mbaka, Daphne Ogega, Yvonne Nyaboke Ogega, Eva Siago, and many more people who are really...
And Dr. Odo Agnes just came to your rescue as well.
Yes. And once you get to the conference, you will see all the amazing speakers. We have speakers, female speakers, male speakers, and specifically to your question around the women panel, we do have a session where we are going to talk about the transformative power of women. And this is really to show what we as women can do, not only for our communities here in the diaspora, but what impact can the diaspora woman have on the woman in UC? So more to come. Please join us September 1st, September 2nd. It's going to be amazing.
I love it. So, I had to do that, but it looks like you have an army of women ready to bite my head off. They're like, wait a minute, Lena, we got her. So, Dr. Aondo, we see you. Emily, I'm pinning your comments on the screen. Thank you for being here. Yes, Dr. Dr. Agnes, it has one question. You know that. I see Stella, you better get to Dallas. You're in Kansas, if I'm not wrong. So hopefully we will see you there. So moving right along, you guys, can you believe we've already eaten 40 minutes? I don't know how time is flying, but let's make sure we honor everybody. And if you're behind in the studio and I didn't bring you up, please say something. But moving right along, the good news is we are kind of coordinating all the questions and making sure that we get people coming. If someone is on the fence, they don't know what Minto is about yet, and they don't know if they should attend the conference. Is it just going to be another thing like a shower? Is it going to be just something like people just dancing? And by the way, I saw Robe, MC Ubamba is going to be performing. Is it just going to be a dance? Or Heb, what is it that you can say to people? Heb, I'm bringing you to the stage. If someone is on the fence and they've not bought their ticket, and we are only 6 days away, I want you to let people know why they should attend and where they can get their tickets.
Hey, Lina, that's definitely a question that I want to answer, and I'm glad that you asked me that question.
And is there barbecue goat?
Let me ask you a question even before I answer you. Have you ever missed an event or an occasion, and then later on you hear people talk about it, and you wish you had been there?
I try not to, but I guess that could happen. And you better warn people.
I'm sure it's happened to many of us. And being there and being told about something are two different things. So I want to say that for any Omogusi in the diaspora, this is one event that you don't want to miss. First of all, there's going to be solidarity. There's going to be unity. There's going to be positive energy. There's going to be inspirational stories. There's going to be people who are going to touch on topics that touch on healthcare, from mental health, and other areas. So I want to say that this is a must-attend conference. Whatever the ticket is costing for me is secondary, because what you're going to get is way more than what it's worth. So I'm just urging every Omogusi that this is our time. Just let me throw one thing there. You know, Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, it's one of the biggest e-commerce websites, almost as big as Amazon. When he was starting Alibaba, the internet had not even gone to China. And a lot of people were telling him, dude, you're crazy. What is this you're doing? And you know, in answering that, Jack Ma asked himself two questions. Number one, he said, if it's not us, then who?
Then who?
And if it's not now, then when? So those are the same questions I want to ask our community. We've been here for a long time. Some of us a little over 2 decades. I want to ask Omogusi, if not now, then when? And if it's not us, then who? I think that's all I have to say for today. But the conference will offer more. Come there, let's mingle, let's network, let's build relationships, and we'll be better people as a community.
I love that. And for the team watching in the background, Auntie Gladys, Gigi, and the rest of them, there's people asking, Naomi Taya, we are going down. There's people asking for the WhatsApp link. Please share that, pin that somewhere so people can get that. But I don't want people to pin, because I really want people to also be able to see the Cash App, so that way they're able to purchase tickets if they're not able to go to the Eventbrite on the website. For those who are, we are trying to not be too behind with Cash App, but we understand we have to accommodate culture, because culture is going to be actually an initiative and a topic with a whole plethora of speakers at the event. So moving down, I don't want to ignore anybody. I know Makini talked about healthcare. Arasa, you've touched a little bit on the everything, and Heb, you shared about economic stuff. So I want someone to share with us, maybe Wiki, you can share a little bit about what you intend for the youth, or maybe Rispa, but Wiki can do that. If he's not too sleepy, maybe Rispa, you can touch on that, since Wiki might be speaking jet lag from Mege to Mege Sambe. Why don't you tell us what your thoughts are about the youth and the excitement, actually, because we haven't even touched on that, because a lot of times we do events and then it's adults. But it's always good to think about those next generation leaders that we are raising in our community. And are we leaving them behind the culture? Are they going with the culture? What's up with that? Madam President.
All right. So we are going to have a panel by the youth, and their panel topic is Rooted Yet Flying. And this is to show that our children and their children will always remain rooted in our values, but yet free to fly wherever the world and opportunities take them. The most amazing thing about this is that they actually took this on themselves. They made their own panel. They have selected who is going to be on the panel, who is going to moderate, and they've created their own questions. They sent in their questions, and I was looking at them and I was like, wow. And I asked their moderator, I said, how is the team feeling? And quote, yay, very excited. I can't wait to hear what these young people, amazing young people, all of them on the panel are college students, are doing different things in different universities, and they are just excited. You really do not want to miss this one on Saturday afternoon. You do not want to miss this one. And if for nothing else, we have to support our
Our
young
youth.
people. We
Yes.
have to support them. So if for nothing else, please show up just to show that we love them, we support them, we are here for them, and we are family.
I love that. And I was really excited to see the youth participating, because often we leave them behind because either they don't fit in or we don't see a place for them. But I'm excited that they will be there. We are almost over 80 people watching, and I hope that that's translating to 80 tickets that are going to Dallas with me on Friday. And some of you from Minnesota, I know you're flying down on Thursday, so we can be ready. Can Arasa tell us where the venue is, what time the event starts, and how many days it is, and how much tickets are? I'm throwing a lot of questions, but you're a teacher.
Uh, Thank you, Lina. So the event is here in Dallas at the Renaissance Hotel. Friday the 1st and the 2nd. We have sessions on Friday starting at 9 in the morning, and we have the going Friday all day. We start again Saturday. Remember Saturday, we're going to do a service, interdenominational service. We're going to have spiritual leaders coming in to pray for us, pray for Minto. Thereafter, we're going to have some engagement. And Lina, you mentioned it. We have one of our own finest musicians coming all the way Kurubosongo. They're coming here to entertain us, and you don't want to miss. There's going to be lunch provided on each day. There's going to be dinner at the gala. All we ask you to do is just dress up, show up. This event is an event that really is going to foster social cohesion, whereby it's an opportunity for us to come together to socialize, build relationship, and just build a sense of belonging within the Minto. There's going to be a lot of knowledge sharing, right? The conference will include educational and plenary sessions. Remember, you're also going to be having a chance to network. You mentioned people coming from Minnesota, New Jersey, all over Texas, all over the United States. We have leaders coming from all the way from Kisi. So the chance to come together, create partnerships and initiatives that benefit Minto as a community. And then finally, remember, we're also going to have a chance to celebrate achievements. You know, among us, there are people who have achieved far greater things that we are so proud of. This is an opportunity to also honor them as we also build our own, so that one day we can be honored. So and we have a session whereby we're having a cultural cohesion. So come and learn about our culture and help preserve our cultural identity. As I close, I just want to say that everybody else listening today, please come and contribute to the success and vibrancy of the Omogusi community. I guarantee you will emerge with a sense of responsibility and ownership.
So I hear music, but I want to make sure everybody's muted. And there's three questions I want, actually, Madam President, to address, or Heb. Actually, Heb, you and I had this conversation previously. One, I think when you were speaking, Arasa, someone says, what's there as far as culture? I think they need to embrace Ekegusi. It will be an irony if we fail to use it. English is not a Minto tongue. And I think when I was speaking either to Heb or Arasa someday, maybe yesterday or something, and I kept saying that in order to compete in the first world or today's world, which is kind of a global world, you got to be able to use a language that is used globally. How are you going to partner with the next door neighbor in Luo or Kalenjin or even the Kikuyu in Dallas if you're not able to communicate? You can sit there, they speak in Kikuyu, you speak in Kisi all day, and there's no treaty being signed. So I think I want someone from the team to share that, but for me, I'm just thinking about that, like that's the best answer. However, we will have Eke, we will have Omokano, we will have music, and we will really address cultural issues within our community, I imagine, because Madam President shared that just a few days ago.
Yes, Lina. If I may touch on that, actually, we have a panel dedicated to cultural cohesion or cultural preservation, right? We will talk about omondoyo omonaro gwatemboli nesese aya tukete akagenda kaira sagari ase mumuro mwabo esese agende kaliembuteria ingo bwente kwaka kulye. That question is going to be answered at the conference. We are not forgetting where we come from. Lina, I'm a village boy. You grew about 1 or 2 miles away from me, so whisper. We live here from Bonjari Madem MSM. We are all left home to stay home, but home never left us.
That's right.
And we will do that. But at the end of the day, we have to get up, dust ourselves, India, so that we can help take Busi to the next level. Culture is a part of us, and we will never run away from it. It's going to be at the conference dinner.
I love that. Thank you for answering. Fred Mwenge, that was your answer. Hopefully that response. Heb, I'm going to put you to task. You and I had this conversation. A lot of people get excited, like Arasa said. Everybody wants to come to the conference. Everybody wants everything addressed at this conference. Everybody's got an agenda now that the conference is taken off. But clearly, as any event planner will tell you, you got to stick with the mission. You got to narrow it down. It's got to work for the 2 days. However, Heb, this is your question. And why is it that we can't touch on everything? I think we talked about mental health was the subject, I think, last week. And now someone is saying, don't miss out about marriage. It's the biggest topic. We can't avoid reality.
Lina, somebody once told me that if you want to eat an elephant, you start with the leg. You start with, you eat it piece by piece. If you try to swallow an elephant, you will surely die. Yeah. So, Minto, I think the team here under the leadership of my sister Rispa has done an amazing job of, first of all, just bringing us together, because coming together is the beginning. Unless we come together, we cannot even have dialogue on what we want to do. So let us come together, and then from here to go as a people. So I think let's look at this conference as an opportunity for us to come together and set the agenda for Omogusi in diaspora and an agenda for Omogusi back home, and then see how we build synergy. And together we are going to be very powerful. The Asians, the Wahindis, they are doing it. That's why they own banks, they own businesses. Why? Because they come together. If I have $10,000, Lina, and 1,000 people that have joined this group also have $10,000, do you know that's $10 million?
Yeah, we can open our own bank right away.
Yeah, that's 1.4 billion Kenya shillings. Just 1,000 people with 10,000. So that's why I want people to come to this conference, because we are going to talk about the power in numbers, the economics of scale. We're going to share a lot that's going to show people that by coming together, we're actually more powerful. Look at, for example, let me give you an example. Nakumatt in Kenya went out of business. It was taken over by a South African company. That was office, and we had that 1.4 billion. Guess what? We could have gone and bought Nakumatt and grown it and made it a Walmart of Kenya. So what we're saying is that we're really successful individually. I believe everybody works. Kenyans, I think they started working immigrants in the youth. I know we're hardworking people. What is lacking is synergy and coming together. And I believe that once we come together, a lot of great things are going to happen. And let us Africa has been not united, negative. Minto is going to bring positive energy. We are about being positive, come to Minto. So I'm really excited, and I hope that everybody has gotten their ticket. If you haven't, please get your ticket. And if you come to the conference and you're not satisfied, I will refund you myself.
That's a big one. I love it. I love that. I love that. So I'm gonna mute my brother Heb. And Heb, George Mokwasi was teasing like you're the economic empowerment, sir, and you have internet issues. You better upgrade. So your internet was in and out, but I think I'm glad that you were able to put in the point there and share to let people know that there's power in numbers. That's why we are connecting. There's almost 100 people here just watching us from Facebook and YouTube. Thanks everyone who's joined us. I Care Tax. I hope that's Steve Aseno, my friend from Kenya, all the way. Pam Mogusu. It makes a very important point. Our youth would be lost if we only spoke in Kisi. And I truly believe that, but we also have a challenge to teach our youth our mother tongue. But before we get there, we're going to speak in English. And my brother Jonah will be in the house and he's already promoting OJ Language Hub. He can always offer translation and interpretation services. Emily, thank you for being here. And of course, Arasa is a village champion. We're going to give him that brand to be the village boy. So I'm gonna try and see how we can summarize this to make sure that we got all the questions. My brother Jackie, Baba Jackie, are you coming? I think that's for Arasa. You started a war you can't finish. Baba Jackie had to call you out on it. That's another teacher. But as we are getting excited here, I am truly honored to host these guys here. My brother Makini from Masaba, Wiki, another teacher in the house, Arasa, and Rispa and Heb. These are the directors actually of Minto. They're in charge of the 5 initiatives. I should say the 6 branches that there is. There is education, there is healthcare, there is economic empowerment, there is youth empowerment, there is women empowerment, there is cultural issues. But more importantly, as we come together, it's really a matter of community. So unity of purpose is really about community, networking, collaboration, partnerships, really a brain dump together so that we can use our brain gain versus drain to see how we can collaborate and support one another. I'm all the way in Minnesota, but I'm excited to be in Dallas next week, God willing, to make sure that I connect with these brothers and sisters of mine at that time. And we are not ignoring your concern: alcoholism and domestic violence, marital counseling, spiritual issues, youth stuff. All of that will be kind of touched as nuggets at a conference. As you can imagine, 2 days can't finish a whole life storm. However, we want everybody to come there, and I'll let Ms. President maybe address that, to come to Minto so that you are part of the solution, not part of the problem. Where you see you can add value, I imagine this team here is willing to receive you with open arms. Stella had a question that I want the director to communications person to answer. Stella is out of state, and she asked a very interesting question, which she said, is Minto a Dallas Omogusi initiative? Is it for just Texas Omogusi?
Thank you, Stella. No, Minto is a Minto initiative. Minto is an Omogusi in the diaspora and in homeland in Kenya. And Kenya is not just Gusii and Nyamira counties, it's Omogusi wherever they domicile. I mentioned about Trans Nzoia, people living in Kitale, people Abagusi who live in Nakuru, who even have an MP who's a Kisi. Abagusi who are living in Mombasa. So this is not just here in Texas. It just happens that the formative stages of the initiative sprang up in Texas, and the conference is in Texas. But we have you, Lina, in Minnesota. We have Daphne in New Jersey. We have a lot of board members spread across the entire United States. We go to Canada in Edmonton. We are in the UK. So what this does, and what our vision as Minto is, we envision a community where everyone can achieve their full socioeconomic potential wherever they are, so long as they are Minto. And mark my word, Minto is me, you. Minto is. So thank you, Stella, for asking. No, it's not a Minto in Texas. It's Omogusi wherever you domicile. and there are people flying in, and we invite you from wherever you are. Please come join us so that we can achieve our mission and realize our belief in a cohesive, collaborative society.
I love that. Thank you for summarizing that, my brother Arasa. And of course, Dorothy, go to Indiana. You better get on the flight. I'm not giving you an option. I hope to see you
Indiana,
in Dallas. Let's get there and solve problems. Of course, that's exactly what the Madam President said at the beginning, which is how is it that we can bond or come together as a community in the diaspora to support those back home. There's a great saying that says we left home to change home.
Change home.
So I think it's important to remember that, and I think that's what these they've been preaching all night. Wilder Black, I agree with Hab. As Kisi people, what skill set do we have to be competitive? And is this going to be discussed? 100%. All the panels, and I can kind of change from moderator to a speaker there. I believe that they're Omwalimu Jonah put it beautifully, which is, I think it's imperative to maintain the scope of Minto on facets it hopes to focus on and accomplish. Like I said, 2 days is not going to be enough to cover all the issues, but I believe that, Madam President, maybe you can share a little bit about the survey you plan to have people so that you know how to move forward.
Oh, sure. And thank you, Jonah, for that concern. We understand everybody. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of questions, a lot of great initiatives that are coming our way in the WhatsApp group, right here on the chat as we're having this conversation, in the live that I did with you the other day, and people calling myself and the rest of the members of the team. We are receiving a lot of feedback. What does that tell us? People are excited, people have an appetite, and people are ready to roll up their sleeves. So my background is project management. Lena jokes all the time. I'm the person with spreadsheets and tables and numbers.
Yeah.
And I understand.
She's not lying. I'm the charismatic. I can inspire you all day. But if you ask me for data, I'll be like, Rispa, were you writing that?
Yeah. And in project management, we refer to scope creep. That is when something just gets big because other ideas keep coming up. And if you had a project for 10 million, suddenly it is 50 million, and you were only approved for 10, and the project fails because you don't have the funding. If some of you remember very well, some banks failed a while back, and they said they got too big too quickly. And we are very, very taking that into account. And our goal is to grow organically. Our goal is to take all the information that we receive. What does Minto mean to you? What would you like to see Minto become? How can you be part of Minto? And we are taking all that information and we are triaging and we are going to prioritize, and we will determine what goes where, who is able to lead what, who has the best skill set to lead a particular initiative. Because at the end of the day, also, it's not about just getting the idea. You have to have the right people to make sure that the execution is effective, the execution has the right impact. So yes, let all the ideas flow. Let all the ideas flow. We are taking all those. If you're able to raise your hand and say, I have this skill set, I can be able to do this. Everybody has something to give, either time, either treasure, or talent. Together, as Minto, we will drive this bus forward and achieve all our agendas. At the end of the day, we just have to say, where are you able to fit and execute in the most effective way? And I think we just lost Lena, so I will just become the moderator for a second until she joins back. So, Arasa, what does Minto mean to you?
Thank you, Madam Rispa. Really, Minto is me, and for me personally, I have an immense passion for it, because for a long time we have done great, but we've done great on a very individual scale. Minto, this is a chance to bring collaboration, get together and work in all spheres, get all cylinders fired, so that together we can achieve more. So Minto to me is collaboration. Minto to me is creating that unity of purpose with an aim of not only improving our livelihoods, but leaving a legacy behind for the children of our children.
Thank you. And for everybody who is watching, if you can please just put in a comment, what does Minto mean to you? What does Minto mean to you? As I ask Heb the same question. What does Minto mean to you?
Rispa, thank you for the question. Well, I believe in Ubuntu, which says that I am because you are. I exist because you exist. I need you and you need me. So Minto is...
I am so sorry. Can you hear me?
We hear you. The conversation was going. Heb was just telling us what Minto means to him as you join us.
So you know what? I think that's the internet saying that we were done 1 hour. So, but I apologize. I apologize to my viewers. But let me tell you the power of what you guys are bringing to people, because I was watching from my phone as I was trying to troubleshoot the studio. There's almost 70 people who did not go away even when Lina dropped off. So I apologize for my embarrassment. This has never happened. However, I am grateful for your time, for those who've stuck with us, Gladys Agagi, Yvonne, Kemi, Amara, Maridadi, thank you, Thomas Onchoke, everybody who stuck with us, and of course the team here who've held the fort while I was figuring out what happened to me. And Emily is looking for that hoodie, Miss President. So let me just bring everybody back to say your last words, but it's more importantly, I want to make sure that I get people whatever information they need. But before you conclude, I believe Thomas wanted to join and say hello. Hey, Thomas, former Minnesota resident. What's up? Just tell us your name, where you are, and how excited you are. And you better have some nyamachoma ready, because we are on our way. You're muted, my brother.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, all the Minnesotans and everybody all over the country. Karibu Dallas. Again, my name is Thomas Njoke. I'm very, very excited through our able president, CEO of MINTO Foundation, Rispa, for bringing us together. It's a lot, you know, the love for each other. And as most of our presenters, our directors have mentioned, we need each other in every aspect, be it family, economics, you know, the social welfare helping back home. So we need each other, and it has been a very, very impressive conversation. And thank you, Ms. Lina, for all that you do for the community and for this session tonight. It means a lot. And together, like Brother Heb mentioned, together we can empower each other in every aspect. Again, for all of you from out of town, please, Karibu Dallas, and this is the place to be, Nyamachoma. Mbuzi tumechinja nyingi sana. Wengi.
I like that. We are ready. We are on our way. Be careful what you ask for. And on that note, I think to be respectful for the audience that has been here, unless I forgot something, and of course, team, you can shoot me a text, whoever has my number. Jonah, I think your question was answered. I'm glad to hear for the response from Madam President. Of course, we don't want to leave anybody out. Stella, I believe you are satisfied from Communications Director, Mr. Arasa. Yes, Miss Stella, I hope to meet you in Dallas, really. You've been hustling this conversation, and I truly appreciate your engagement. Kenneth Mboga, welcome to Dallas. Wherever you guys are watching us from, please comment and say what state, because clearly we want to know where you are. I know there's somebody who's going to be responsible to tracking all the Mogusi where they are. But in that regard, your last remarks, team. I'm going to start where I started, which was Wiki, the teacher, and then we are going to go to Arasa, and then we're going to go to Makini. I'm looking at my screen. Then we are going to come down, and then Miss President, I'm going to have you speak last, but we can jump on Heb and then Thomas. And then we conclude our night. And of course, don't forget to thank our sponsors and our viewers, my viewers from YouTube and Facebook.
Thank you so much, Lynn. So mine will be trying to ask everybody, wherever you're watching from, if you're going to watch this later, to look at your story. And your story could be my story. Our stories are very similar in one way or the other, from our very humble beginnings in the Gusii land or whichever community you grew in back home. You know, the challenges you faced throughout your education, college, trying to get a job, and even your transition to the US. And we're kind of trying to say, how could anybody come in to help me get a soft landing at any point of that process? You know, be schooling, could it have been mentorship, could it have been somebody shooting into the right direction in your career, could it have been somebody helping you financially, you know? And these are the areas we in the education pillar are focused on. You can be a sponsor, you can be a mentor, you can be a career coach, you can be a mental health expert. And from all these aspects, everybody can come on board and try to reach out and help even that one person uh, have their dream come true. And at some point, their story could be slightly different from ours. Atasema kwamba kuna yule mmoja nishika mkono, and that's why I am where I am today. And that's why we're excited about this, and we can see how much more we can do together as Minto, especially in matters of education, because the community will be empowered if you educate the community.
I love that. Thank you, Wiki. That's Wycliffe Omboy Nyachai, and he's going to be one of the panelist speakers in Texas, and he's the director of education Minto. Thank you, Wiki. Arasa.
The village boy, yes. Lina, thank you for hosting us. Thank you for having us. And thank you for everybody who joined us live. Honestly, we are about 6 guys here, but we are just a fraction of the organizing team. Our planning team has over 25 people, Lina. It's all hands on deck. I cannot mention all the names here, but Madam President, I know will give gratitude to each one of them. There's a lot of planning going on, but I want to keep our eyes on the vision, right? That Minto, we envision a community whereby everyone can achieve their full socioeconomic potential and live a life of dignity. We believe in a unit of purpose, and we believe that this unit of purpose, Minto, is very essential to achieving success as a community. We've seen other communities prosper because they've worked together. We've seen the Jews, we've seen the Asians, we've seen the Vietnamese, we've seen the Koreans. We've seen even within Kenya, the Somalis, how they've taken over cities. We at Minto, we are extremely brilliant. We're elite, we're educated, we have the potential. The time for us to come together is now. The conference on the 1st and the 2nd puts us together, whereby we put not only our heads together, but we hold each other's hands to make sure that what we plant now, the seed that we will plant, we will continue to water it over time and over years, and we're going to reap the fruits not only for ourselves, but our children and children's children. I invite you to the conference on the 1st and the 2nd. Please, wherever you are, dress like Texas is hot, but for the guys, just dress formal. Chakula itakuwa, tutakula, tumechinja mbuzi, tutakula ng'ombe. Whatever it is, we will dine as and wine as one community. For the first time ever in the United States, welcome to Minto Conference. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you. I'm going to answer. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you have like a
Thank you.
muffle.
That is weird. Is that better?
Yes. No, actually. Can we all go on mute unless we are speaking?
Yes, don't get out.
I don't know if it's me. It could be me.
Likewise, you.
Okay, well, let's keep talking. I will fix something here. So let's move on to Makini. Your final words, please. And as we summarize the end of this call.
Thank you, Rilin. Thank you, the viewers who have been watching us. We don't take you for granted. I know you are part of the Minto. You want Minto to succeed. I'm so happy to see that Minto has now one platform as a place where all of us we can gather and bring all our expertise, where we can bring all the ideas on how we can transform Omogusia's journey. We don't want to be talking about how Omogusi can never be united. We want to prove those who say that Omogusi has started so many things which have never gone anywhere. We have raised structures which will make Minto to be there, this generation and the next generation. And we want the next generation to be proud of us, all of us who are here today, and all those who will be attending the Minto conference.
Thank you so much. Is it? Gosh, this is terrible. The devil is really fighting me. This has never happened, and I've been going live for the last 10 years. I don't think that the last 8 years, I should say, the first live I did in 2017. But I've never had issues. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a lot of
I honestly don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. Let me try this. I hate to keep everybody waiting. Is that better?
Yes.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Our viewers, Paul Sana, today is being a tried day, but I am a believer that the higher you go, the stronger the army of the devil to try and bring you down. Today we had almost 80 people watching us live to hear more about MINTO Foundation and the launch of a conference in Texas that is going to be in Dallas, September 1st and 2nd, Friday and Saturday. And we are just concluding. We just heard from the Director for Education, the Director for Communications, the Director for Healthcare, that's Makini, Arasa, and Wycliffe, going backwards. And now we are just about to hear from Heb, the Economic Empowerment Director, and Thomas before I let the President conclude. And it looks like Heb is being kicked out.
Hey, Lena.
Yes.
Yeah, so to conclude, next to me here, Lena, I have a picture
of Mandela.
Of Nelson Mandela. Mandela once said that for to be free is not to merely cut off one's chain, but to live in a way that promotes and enhances the freedom of others. We came to the diaspora to get ideas to know how life should be done, and I think it's time for us to come together and to see what difference we can make back home and here so that our people can also be free. I believe in the Minto family, I believe in the community, I believe in the Ubuntu spirit that says that I am because you are. And for that reason, we have to come together and put our heads together. I'm looking forward to this conference. I'm asking you to tell your friends, tell our friends, and let us come together and start something that we all be proud of, and a community that we all care about people back home. But I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I'm looking forward to meeting each one of you from whatever place you're coming from. I believe in networking. I'm a businessman. I believe that we are stronger than we network. And sometimes we feel that it's not what we know, but really know people. To meet your conference and get to know people. Thank you, Lena, and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Heb, for that conclusion. I think my audio is really bad. I might have Rispa take over, but as we conclude, we're going to have Thomas say something. And then as we finish, I'll just drop you. But don't leave the studio, team. I would like to chat a little bit before you go home.
Hello, everyone. Again, Karibu Minto, and this is a place to be. First of all, I mean, as a community, as Somugusi, we have to empower each other. And how can we do that? It's through upendo, umoja, so that the little bit we know about the community, our society, where we live, we can be able to share. And for Minto, again, we can empower each other by trusting each other, building good relationships at first, and making sure that we are there for each other. We are each other's keeper as a brothers and sisters. Again, Karibu Dallas. Again, we are all ready for you guys, and there's a lot to cover. And for in the case of anything, we still have a lot that we can share through our social media after the conference concluded. But we are very ready for you guys, and with Minto, this is a place to be, and we can believe and trust each other that as we can deliver, we can achieve a lot. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, Thomas. And I love your passion about this. And hopefully everybody is coming to join this great initiative. My brother Amara, this is a Kenyan movement. Actually, Kenya has over 40 tribes. So this is one of the sections in the western part of Kenya that I belong to. They have a launch, a big conference in Dallas. I should take you there. And we have Jonah from Minnesota who does translation and interpretation. And you can teach us. I think there's a Kisi tribe in Liberia, actually. So I just wanted to respond to my brother there. He's been asking the same question for the last few months. And Fancy, my cousin from Georgia, we see you. Lillian, we see you. And as Madam President concludes, I'm going to give a shout out to Madam President of Mwanyagetinge, Rose Nyaboke. You're on your way. We hope to see you down there. I'll be screaming your name and shouting you out down there. Thank you for coming. I hope there's going to be a huge delegation from Minnesota. Y'all don't let me go by myself. Emily, we wish you a safe trip. Hopefully you'll get back in time. But if you're not, we'll be praying for you, and hopefully you'll be with us in spirit. I should mention, Zaina, get your ticket, my dear. Anyway, before let me just say this. I want to just shout out to everybody on Moskali. I hope the Army guy, Machuki, you'll be in the house. Gladys Kasmall, let's get there. The echo is there, so I want to end this because it's bugging me. But I want to make sure I honor RISPA and also mention that they forgot to say that the keynote speaker for the gala is the former CJ Maraga. And of course, there's other things that RISPA is going to say. But let me just let the president conclude and then let us know if we forgot something.
Lina, before Madam President comes in, I'm inviting and also hoping that some of the people from Minnesota have gotten their U-Hauls.
Yeah.
For you, everything is big. If you are still small, we have for you. So, this is big for us. Karibuni.
Asante. So he's hinting for those who want to move, and I know RISPA is not going to go there because him and somebody else have an agenda. But anyway, Madam President, to stay on task, let's get everybody going here, and with your last remarks, and of course I'm going to share the foundation and the Cash App as you speak.
Thank you again, Linda, for the opportunity to be here and for sharing your space. This is a great service that you provide to our community to share information and to engage. I want to conclude by first saying thank you to the Army that is putting this conference together. You can have the best idea, but if you don't have the right execution team, then your idea will not come to be what you intended it to be. So for all the people who will be providing entertainment, all the people who are providing sound engineering behind the scenes, all the volunteers who are going to be doing the different tasks to make sure that we are having a great conference, to our amazing sponsors and vendors who will be at the conference. Please, we ask that you come and support them, support their businesses, so that they are able to also pour into our community as we progress. Thank you to the team that have joined the meeting tonight, and also the ones who are not able to make it. Most of them were busy managing the community comments. So I want to say thank you to every single member of the team. You are valued, and the work that you're putting in is really, really appreciated. A big thank you to our speakers. every single one of them. I said the other day, if we were to put a dollar value to the knowledge and information that our speakers will be sharing, we would not have afforded them to begin with, and the tickets would not have been affordable for us to attend the conference. So to our speakers who are donating their time, skill, and talent, we say a big thank you, because you are coming to empower our community so we can be a better people. When you know better, you do better. So thank you so much to our speakers. With that said, we have to provide the venue our final head count end of day tomorrow. What does that say? Mapema ndio best. Si hiyo ndio tunasema Kenya sahi, mapema ndio best. So please, if you have not registered for the conference, please, we want to make sure that you are counted. There's Arasa is the one, the village boy. He does the proverbs better than me and Lina, but I think there's one that says Muminchorini.
Tanga na moseraibu.
What does that mean? Mapema ndio best, pretty much. The early riser will be able to catch whatever is out there than the one who comes in late. So aba minto gaki, imova moseraibu. Make sure that you are counted so your voice can be heard, so that your ideas can also be heard at the conference, but also so that you can get something to take away to also make you a better person as we go. For those asking about the hoodies and the t-shirts, they will be there at the conference in plenty, in all colors, in all sizes. Just show up so that you can be able to get yours. So again, I conclude by saying a big thank you to Lina. We really just want to make sure that everybody is there as we come together as one people, as our Minto. We share, we break bread together and see where do we take Minto. Again, Minto is a vehicle for positive change, and it's going to take all of us to create that change. Thank you.
You know, I'm truly honored. First of all, Rispa is my friend, but in this regard, she's Madam President, and I have to respect her in that space. But as I joke and we end this call here, I'm truly honored to see her grow. And we were laughing at how we used to be at the same church, Sabbath school, the same camp meeting, the same Mashairi provincial Keumbu. I used to be very good with Mashairi, by the way. I went all the way to Kisumu. And the same, yes. But I'm saying that to say that we've grown, and I think Wiki made a very good point of saying there is a child back home that may not have the opportunities we had, either because we had the privilege, but at the end somebody held our hand to even bring us to the US for those extended opportunities that have enabled us to use the power of numbers and the power of the dollar. So I am pleading with all the people watching, and when I said earlier that I wanted to end this call, it's funny because Gladys, I see you and everybody else in the chat, that the echo is not there anymore. Unfortunately, we can't go until tomorrow. An hour and a half is plenty for someone watching. So the best thing, guess what? Come to the conference. It's going to be a whole 2 days. You can listen to different speakers. You don't have to see our faces all day. You will be seeing new faces, new minds, new knowledge, new expertise, new exposure, just so many different things that people have walked their journey, even just in the US. And I am a believer that we are sitting here on something I was reflecting on yesterday, that we came here to survive, but we went to living, and now we are thriving. But we don't want to thrive by ourselves, and by that I'll define thriving, because it's really where you get to a space where you don't need anybody's permission to live how you want to live. If you're an entrepreneur, you know what I'm talking about. You go out there, do what you need to do, and make life happen. If it is your job, if it is your truck you're driving, if it is your license you have, you earned it. So we are at a place where we have grown, but we want to go back and say, how about we bring all these brains together, but also not forget to uplift those who are coming behind us. So mentorship is a big mission for this vision. You heard them speak. Career development is a big one. We'll have a lot of qualified titles at the conference. And of course, I love CJ Maraga. It was a pleasure to honor him at the award ceremony in 2019, actually in Dallas, where I presided over the award for him, and that's where I met him. So I'm excited to actually go back. For everybody on the fence, I have shared 1,000,000 times the link to buy tickets, the Cash App. Just go buy your tickets. Stop sitting on the fence. And that thing of like it's my weekend to work or I didn't have a time off. This thing has been out here forever. Just buy your tickets. Let's meet at the conference. And if this is meant to be your place, your gateway to connecting to that one person that is assigned to you to take you to the next level, so be it. So thank you, Wiki. Thank you, Arasa. Thank you, Makini. Thank you, Heb. Thank you, Thomas, the Vice President for Economic and Healthcare. Thank you, my sister Rispa. I think Silas dropped off earlier, but thank you also for being here. And it is normally crazy when you, as a speaker, you want your audience to stay. When you see that we are still at 75 and it's an hour and a half into our conversation, there is something that Minto is doing that the world needs to hear about. So I cannot wait to see you. We are not going to do any more lives. The event is Thursday. Rispa needs the numbers by tomorrow. If you are closed out, pole, itakuwa Noah, the ark is closed. We can't help you. So on that note, God bless you. God, thank you for my viewers from all over the place. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for the people from Kenya, all the way, the people on YouTube, the people on Facebook. I don't take your time lightly. That's a gift to me. And my cousin, Kalisa Kwamboka, Aye Baba, see you Friday. There are no excuses. If you have to call in, but don't post on social media that you've called in. On that note, God bless you. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. And this broadcast, let's see how it ends.